In what ways does your media product use, develop or challenge forms and conventions of real media products? Within my planning stages for this product, I analysed R&B hip-hop magazines such as Hip Hop Weekly, The Source and XXL magazine, which enabled me to follow particular conventions of an R&B hip-hop music magazine. I was mainly influenced by The Source magazine's double page spread and front cover, and also XXL's contents page. With the front cover of my magazine, I used the convention of direct address within the main image of the artist. For example, this is also included in the Source magazine, which I analysed for my planning. The masthead of my magazine has the largest font on the page and is in sans serif font, which is the font type the target audience preferred most. It is also a convention within the 3 magazines I analysed. The font is in bold text and in capitals, which is conventional. The masthead and the skyline of my front cover are anchored at the top of the page, because if they were placed on a shelf with other magazines and overlapped, the masthead and the skyline are what would have been seen. My masthead is slightly covered by the artist's head, connoting the magazine is established and is well known. This was a convention I noted during my textual analysis stages. The convention of a masthead on my magazine has less of a drop shadow than the Sources, which I challenged, whereby the mail is directly addressing the audience, making them feel involved, which I also use for real media products. In terms of mise-en-scène, the camera shot I use for the front cover is a medium shot. I use this to directly address the audience, also for the audience to see props such as sunglasses and the cap the artist is wearing. However, I challenge the convention that all R&B hip-hop artists are of an ethnicity of Afro-Caribbean, as the main artist in my magazine is an Indian teenager. I challenge this to be different and unique. Another convention I used was that the barcode on the front cover page is anchored towards the bottom of the page, in the corner, not interfering with relevant images and cover lines on the page. I challenge the fact the issue date and price are within the barcode. I anchored mine differently. For example, the issue date is anchored beneath the masthead and the price is anchored above the barcode. I developed the cover lines on my front cover page as they are situated with different stories and artists. Also, the cover lines on Hip Hop magazine's weekly front cover were anchored on one side of the front page. I developed this by anchoring my cover lines on both sides of the page. From analysing the Source magazine, I gained my main inspiration for my media product. I used some conventions of their front cover, for example, by anchoring my barcode vertically up and to the bottom right hand corner. Also anchoring the magazine's website at the bottom of the front cover page, placing it within a grey boost and black text. Also by putting the featured artist name in red bold capitalised sans serif font with the extra information written in grey capitalised sans serif font. The artist's costume is of a black suit and white shirt similar to the artists Rick Ross and Wiz Khalifa on the Source's front cover image. However, I challenged some of the Source's conventions by having only one main artist on the front cover page, which challenges on the Source's XXL and Hip Hop Weekly magazine. With the contents page of my music magazine, I gained the main inspiration during my textual analysis stages from XXL's contents layout. For example, their contents is laid out in one column on the left hand side of the contents page, which I used for my layout. This was a conventional element I found. However, I challenged XXL's house style of colour by incorporating my own different house style colour scheme of red, black and grey. XXL's subheads, extra information beneath and navigation of numbers are in black, whereas the subheads in my magazine are grey and the extra information beneath and navigation of numbers are in red. The use of subheads and extra information is a conventional element I noted during my textual analysis stages when analysing The Source, Hip Hop Weekly and XXL magazine. I have also challenged XXL's contents page by incorporating 2 images on my contents page with clear navigation presented to the reader. Also by incorporating 2 images, one of an Afro-Caribbean female and one of an Indian male. This again challenges XXL's image, as the two artists they have are of Afro-Caribbean ethnicity, with clear navigation on the images to encourage the reader to turn to those specific pages. I included a subscription section to my contents page challenging XXL's contents page. I did this to be different. However, I noticed this is a conventional element with real media products such as Hip Hop Weekly. In terms of mise-en-scène and the artist's costumes and props, the Indian male artist's props of Dre Beat headphones colour matches the house style of my music magazine's colour scheme. The artist Soulja Boy featured on XXL's contents page. He has a prop of a gold ring. I used a similar gold ring on my artist. For the double page spread of my music magazine, I gained some real inspiration from my textual analysis stages when analysing real media products such as Hip Hop Weekly, XXL and The Source magazine. I gained the most inspiration from The Source's magazine when producing my double page spread. The headline of my double page Hip the One reflected. The font is in bold, black capitalised sans serif font. It is the largest font on the page, so it's eye-catching to the audience. In between the headline there is a lead, which is a convention I use to entice the reader. It's snappy and it gets to the point. This convention is also what I noted when analysing The Source, XXL and Hip Hop Weekly magazine. I placed a main image relating to the article, which is a convention I noticed during my textual analysis stages. The main image is an Indian male which challenges the conventions of Hip Hop Weekly, XXL and The Source magazine, as the ethnicity of their artists are white American or Afro-Caribbean. I did this to be unique. The main image in terms of mise-en-scène is a long shot, allowing the audience to see the costume, location and props such as alcohol bottles. I developed a caption on the main image telling the audience the artist is posing for his latest album. There is a gutter used between two columns of body text, which I use for my textual analysis stages. The body text of the article is written in sans serif font Arial, which is a convention used for the majority of double page spreads. This seems to be the main body text of articles, which I noted in textual analysis stages of real media products. Another convention I used was a drop capital at the beginning of the article. The baseline of the double page spread states the magazine website, thebaseline.com, and page numbers used for navigation. How does your media product represent particular social groups? The genre of my music magazine is R&B hip-hop, and the main ethnicity stereotyped is Black Afro-Caribbean with this genre. However, I challenge this by having my main artist as an Indian male and the Afro-Caribbean female was featured less, which are typical and common ethnicities of an R&B hip-hop artist. My magazine represents a particular social group as the main artist is Indian, a teenager and of middle-class nature. This is presented through mise-en-scène as the male's costume is of a smart black suit and has props of sunglasses, a gold ring, headphones, a champagne glass and alcohol bottles. These are typical stereotypes, with these props and costumes connoting to the audience a social group of middle-class traits. However, the Indian artist is negatively portrayed as he has alcohol bottles surrounding him in my double-page spread image. The female artist's ethnicity is Afro-Caribbean with the costume of a leather jacket, shirt and wristbands. Her costume is similar to a real successful hip-hop R&B artist. For example, with my mood board, the artist Alexi Jordan is wearing a leather jacket. The female artist on my contents page is positively represented through the mise-en-scène. What kind of media institution might distribute your media product and why? XXL magazine is published by Harris Publication. Hip Hop Weekly magazine is published. The Source magazine's publisher is LL Londell Macmillan. I believe any of these three institutions will publish my hip-hop R&B genre magazine, as they all specialize and are well known to publish this genre of magazines. By publishing my media product, they will have a wider mass audience to target, which in turn will give them a higher profit. However, I would pick the Harris Publication because they have more experience and do more than one genre of music magazine. These are Guitar World, Revolver, Scratch and XXL magazine. Who would be the audience for your media product? In the planning stages of this project, I found my target audience were teenagers and young adults aged between 15 and 22 years. The main ethnicity was Afro-Caribbean and Indian. I found this out by carrying out a questionnaire. I targeted these audiences by including them in my magazine. The main artist is an Indian male teenager, and the other artist is an Afro-Caribbean female teenager. In terms of gender, I was intending to target both male and females because the genre of R&B hip-hop music has a mixture of male and female artists. Both teenagers and young adults are fans, especially Indian and Afro-Caribbean people, as my research told me. In terms of class and disposable income, I targeted middle-class people as the price of my magazine is £3.50, which may seem expensive to working-class people. However, middle-class people are more likely to be able to afford this price every fortnight. In reference to audience and nationality, I am targeting the British and American audiences because R&B hip-hop genre music is popular in these two countries, as they are fans in both Britain and America. Also, the majority of R&B hip-hop music artists are American. My intended target audience will purchase a copy of my magazine for entertainment, personal relationships, and escapism. How did you address your audience? I attracted my audience with the house style I used. The colour scheme was red, black and grey, which is similar to the house style I analysed in XXL magazine. The layout of my magazine is simple and can be read easily. For example, the layout of the contents is anchored in columns and aligned, making a neat impression and separated with subheads. I have used navigation on the images to help the audience find where the articles are situated within the magazine. This is an educated move, as the middle class are more likely to read the contents page to find specific page numbers they wish to look for. As for my front cover, my masthead is anchored at the top of the page and the main image is in the centre and the skyline is anchored on top of the masthead. The front cover is not too busy and has snappy cover stories attracting the audience. I also believe the powerful images attract the audience, as the results obtained from the planning stages state the audience prefer more images and less text. Also, the body text and fonts I use throughout my magazine are sans serif, which attracts my target audience whilst reading the magazine. Furthermore, another attraction is the music artists included in the magazine, which influence my audience the most when choosing their music magazines. Offers are included within my magazine, such as the subscription section, which offers a cheaper price on the purchase of further magazines. I have addressed my audience with the tone of language, as I use colloquial language, such as my double-page spread headline states, Hip Da One. This type of language is appealing towards a modern, young and trendy audience like my target audience. Colloquial language is used throughout my magazine, mainly located within my double-page spread. Here are a few examples: hustling, dig, haps, doing, messin', swag on. This colloquial language will really attract and address my target audience, allowing them to make a connection to the magazine. There are also controversial toned aspects included in my magazine, such as the discussion of sex, alcohol and drugs and gang culture.